guys, Archangel Manga here, and today I want to talk about my first impressions of the first 5 volumes of Hunter x Hunter by Yoshihiro Togashi. Now, what is Hunter x Hunter? Hunter x Hunter is basically a story revolving around Gon, who aspires to be a hunter, which is basically a job that allows you to, track down unattainable treasure, amass, unsurmountable wealth. If you want to sell the license that you attain, you can track down mythical beasts, or in Gon's case, other people. He's wanting to find his father, Ging, I believe he's called, who is basically one of the best, if not the best, hunter in the entire world. So in order to become a hunter, you have to take the hunter exam. And once you pass that, all the trials, there's loads of different stages and phases in the hunter exam, even in between phases where Gon is interacting with so-called civilians, or people in the town who like pose questions and little puzzles to him, and they only realise once they're actually in the puzzle that it's still part of the exam. Like even when he's on his way to the exam, he's basically on like a big galleon boat, and he understands that he's on his way to the exam, but that is actually the beginning of the exam. Being able to withstand seasickness and survive the perilous ocean. So that was interesting. I thought that was pretty cool how there isn't actually a the line between where the exam starts, is completely blurred. From one phase to the next, is really blurred until you actually start meeting like the examiners. I thought that was really interesting. But basically, the first 5 volumes pretty much covers the entire introduction. We're introduced to Gon and 3 of his friends, who basically are the main characters. We're introduced to Kurapika and Leorio, and then a little bit further on we're in the exam we're introduced to Killua. And basically, I understand that there's a lot of hype surrounding Hunter x Hunter. It's got a massive fan base, and even before reading this series, I was well aware that there were many similarities between Hunter x Hunter and Naruto. And having read the first 5 volumes, I can see somewhat firsthand now that there are many similarities between the two things, between the two series. But still, the feeling I get from Hunter x Hunter is vastly different from, what I got with the beginning of Naruto. With the beginning of Naruto, for me personally, there was a massive emotional impact on me, even just from the first volume, where Naruto is completely chastised and segregated from his community, and people blame him for attacking the village years previously as the demon fox, and Iruka stands up for him, and just there's a lot of emotional ups and downs that I got from reading the start of Naruto. But with Hunter x Hunter now, I didn't really feel any impact at all emotionally to that sense. And it's not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's just I can see how Yoshihiro Togashi has written it slightly different. I don't know if Gon is one of them characters with an emotional backstory or anything like that. I don't know if it's ever gonna if we're ever gonna see a backstory or anything like that. But in comparison to Naruto as a character, I don't feel that Gon is that strong. When I say strong, I don't mean in actual physical strength. I mean he isn't. I don't think he's a well written character in comparison to Naruto himself. And that's namely because he has physical strength, but he doesn't really have. There's no real explanation as to why he's strong. We know that he's the son of an infamous hunter. But other than that, he's just a little village boy who lives with his aunt, who wants to become a hunter. And he just from the get go, he's very cunning, and he's quite witty. But due to his appearance, he's got a very simplistic appearance. He's very unsuspecting in that regard. It's not stupid and naive, so much as Naruto. So I don't know. I'm very neutral about this. I don't know whether I like it or I dislike it, because I did enjoy reading it, but it just wasn't as interesting for me. I mean, I just kind of found myself forcing myself to read it, and it only really got interesting, for me personally, once they actually finished the exam and got the licenses, and Gon, Leorio, and Kurapika go on their first hunt. Basically, try to track down Killua. If you've read Hunter x Hunter, then you'll know why they're trying to track him down. So I'm finding this part of it, like Volume 5, really, really interesting, but everything during the actual Hunter exam, it just seemed kind of stale for me. And one of the big reasons as to why I didn't really enjoy it is, this might sound quite hollow and, quite shallow, but I really dislike the art style. I don't, it's just too simplistic for my taste, and I really don't like the character design of Gon. I like the character design of Leorio and Kurapika and even Killua, but Gon, it just seems too. It almost looks like a chibi-esque character for me. His big eyes and his spiky hair. I just don't find him a really interesting character to look at, and because, even in the first volume, there's not really much focus on Gon. It more revolves around his group of friends. There's not really much focus on Gon, so I don't really feel like I know him that well as a character. As I did with, say, Naruto. And obviously Naruto, the main focus is actually Naruto himself, but Hunter x Hunter, it seems like the main focus is hunting. Being a hunter, and not necessarily the main character. So if it's one of them series where it focuses more on the group, and you really get to know the characters through their interactions with each other, then that's fair enough, and I will keep on reading. I'm going to keep on reading it anyway, because I have enjoyed it, but I went into it with expectations, and maybe that was wrong of me, I guess, but I just don't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, because of this. There's just so much hype surrounding it. But yeah, there are many similarities between Hunter x Hunter and Naruto, and you see a lot of that during the Hunter exam. In the Chunin exam, they go through the Forest of Death, trying to get these scrolls off of the other participants. And then in Hunter x Hunter, they're on an island, like in a similar forest, trying to get tags off the other participants. There's Kurapika, who is basically the sole survivor of his clan, the Kurta clan, I believe it was called. And when his emotions rise, his eyes turn red, similar to how Sasuke's eyes turn into the red Sharingan. And it's common knowledge that in Naruto the only way to attain Sharingan is through emotional pain, well, through intense emotion and that sort of thing. So it's been debated, and I've seen it tossed around that Naruto is basically a rip-off of Hunter x Hunter, but this is where it first came to my attention, is when Code Provider made a video about how Hunter x Hunter is a template for which Naruto kind of, got its start off, essentially, and I see how, how that works. I don't see Naruto as directly a rip-off of Hunter x Hunter. I just see it as like a launching pad for what Naruto is today. I think once I read more of Hunter x Hunter, I'll be able to do more of a solid, review and opinion on it, and maybe the similarities that are somewhat uncomfortable to grasp between the two series will be more put to rest once I see that maybe the two series are actually completely different. I think it's just the beginning of both series are essentially the same. I've never seen two series so closely compared or argued between each other ever before in the community. So I'm gonna carry on reading Hunter x Hunter, because I've still got a few other miscellaneous volumes, like Volume 8 and Volume 13, 26 and 27, and I do like the fights in it. I do like some of the characters' abilities, like Killua's got like an ability where it hasn't really been explained as of yet. He comes from a family of assassins, and basically you just see him like ripping out people's hearts and things like that. He's got these like claws on his hands that are all veiny and stuff. I found that really cool. You have Leorio, who uses like a little penknife sort of thing. You know, he provides a lot of like comedic relief, like during, especially during the start of the series, where you know, him and Kurapika are like butting heads. You know, they almost get into like a major fight. You know, when they first meet, I thought that was really interesting. You know, like people constantly referring to Leorio by, you know, like um, Rio Leo, or you know, some other different name, and he having to correct them, getting mad. I do find it funny in its parts, but I think the most important part of the series is to connect with the characters, and especially my lack of connection with Gon. I find that a real problem for me. So I'm really hoping that he redeems himself as a character for me, because there are other real standout characters. You know, that's not like even more so than Gon. Like I really like Hisoka, and I see a lot of similarities between Hisoka and Orochimaru. And this is something as well that was also addressed in Code Provider's video. You know, the similarities between Hisoka and Orochimaru. Like, you know, the role that Hisoka played during the Hunter exam is similar to the role that Orochimaru played during the Chunin exam. So I'm just interested to see where the series as a whole goes, and you know, if it does change, because like I said, I have actually gained a lot of interest in it now that they've actually, you know, finally attained the licenses, and they've gone on the first hunt. So you know, I do expect good things of the series, but I just thought it had a really weak start. And you know, the art style is just an ongoing problem for me. You know, so there's some points at which, you know, it does really stand out, you know, and look really, really good, but there are other parts where, you know, it it almost seems kind of half-assed, and I don't know, it just seems like a real problem for me, you know, at this point. But I've flicked through a couple of the other volumes. I think the up to date volumes that I've got are in like the Chimera and arc or something like that, and some of the character designs look really cool. Like I've seen the character design for the Ant King, and it kind of reminds me of like a merge between Cell and Frieza. It looks really cool. So it's not that Yoshihiro Togashi's got a bad art style. You know, he is a good artist. It's just, you know, the art just seems really weak. You know, the backgrounds are just very, you know, very plain, and you know, I just, there's nothing that really stands out for me artistically and, you know, story wise. So you know, that's basically my first impressions of it. I'm still very neutral about it. You know, I'm in the grey area with this. So you will definitely hear about more of my opinions on Hunter in the future once I've read more of it. So yep, that's me, and I am signing out.